Hi, this is Hart, and this is the fifth in a five-part video series called Choosing the Best Trees. We've talked about why trees are important and how do you know if you're choosing the right tree. What tools do we have now that we didn't have just a short time ago when it comes to choosing the best trees? We talked about the Native Plant Finder, nwf.org/Native Plant Finder, which is the definitive source for choosing the trees that best support ecosystems, measured by how much they support leaf-eating insects, especially caterpillars. So I would assert that the trees that support the caterpillars and other leaf-eating insects, the ones that do the best job of supporting those, also support the rest of the ecosystem, because everything else depends on insects. There's plants, there's carnivores, plants, herbivores, carnivores, decomposers, yada yada. But a neglected link in our food chains has been the leaf-eating insects. They have very specialized needs, they have very diverse needs, and we're going to run down the last in this series, which is number 11 through 20. If you want the top 100 plants in my county, message me or email me. I'll give that to you. If you want specific instructions about how to use the Native Plant Finder of the National Wildlife Federation, I will help you with that as well. But number 11 on the list, now each one of these is a genus. Number 11 on the list is elm. Elm in my county supports 148 species of butterflies and moths. It needs to be a native elm, including American elm, winged elm, or rock elm, and others, but those are examples of native species. And you have to have a native in order to support our local insects. Including elm supports the double-tooth prominent. I have a blog post on where I have a cool picture of a double-tooth prominent caterpillar eating an elm leaf. If you want to know where that is, message me and I will get that to you. Number 12 on the list. Let's run down these real fast and then I'll come back and give you the details. Number 12 is alder, supports 129 species of caterpillars in my county. Basswood is 119, supports 119 species of caterpillars in my county. It may be similar in yours, but that's what the Native Plant Finder will tell you for your county. Walnut supports 115 in my county. Ash supports 113 species of caterpillars in my county. Blackberry, the native blackberries, not just any and all blackberries, or that genus also includes Himalaya and dewberry. And you need to make sure it's a native, but it supports 105 species of caterpillars in my county. Beech supports 104, hawthorn 101, chestnut 87, and viburnum 81. That brings us down to number 20 out of the top however many. I have a list of the top 100. I just gave you number 11 through 20. So elm supports 148 species, including the double-tooth prominent, and you need to have an American elm, a winged elm, a rock elm, or other native elm species. Alder supports 129 species of caterpillars, including the mourning cloak, but you need to have a native, for example, the hazel elder. Basswood supports 119 species of caterpillars. So we're talking about leaf-eating insects. Leaf eaters have a very narrow diet. They can't eat just anything and everything. So we need to give them the diet that they need. And if we have a diverse diet for caterpillars, then we can have birds are among the things that caterpillars that eat. I mean, insects are so important to our food chains. We need to take care of what they need. That means a variety of native, not just a variety of native plants, but a good representation of the top ranking native plants. I'm giving you the top ranking native plants now. Number 14 is walnut. Oh, I've been down through those. Well, did I go through that? Let me see, where was I? Basswood, 119. It needs to be a native like the American basswood, and if so, it supports a caterpillar by the name of question mark. Walnut supports 115 species of caterpillars, including the walnut sphinx, and native species include the black walnut and the white walnut, also known as the butternut. Butternut. There's a bitter nut and a butternut. Walnut, white walnut's a butternut. So ash, such as it is, supports 113 species, including the rustic sphinx moth. I'm not recommending planting ashes at this point because they'll just die, but that's an example of a problem we can't easily solve. We need to focus on the problems we can solve. I'm giving you the tools to solve the problems that we know how to solve, including plant blackberry, number 16. Now blackberries grow wild, so maybe instead of planting it, you just don't get rid of it. You know the difference between your native and your non-native blackberry. So there's blackberry, dewberry, Himalaya is all the same genus. You need to pick native species within that genus. Message me if I can help you with that. But blackberries, the native blackberries support 105 species, including the white furcula. Beech, there's only one species of beech, and that's the American beech. Supports 104 species of native caterpillars, including the great leopard moth. The hawthorn, there are hundreds, over 1,000 species of hawthorns, but an example of a native species is a cockspur or a dotted hawthorn or a downy hawthorn. Supports 101 species of native caterpillars, including the apple sphinx. The chestnut trees are back. There's an American chestnut tree that's 15/16 American chestnut. It's resistant to the chestnut blight, and hopefully it still, even in its hybrid state, hopefully it still supports our native insects. I don't know the answer to that, but I suspect that it does if it's 15/16 American chestnut. And it supports the interrupted dagger moth and 87 other species of caterpillars. Lastly, viburnum supports 81 species of caterpillars, including the brown scoopwing, and you need native viburnums such as the black haw viburnum, arrowwood viburnum, or the maple leaf viburnum. That's all for now. Hope this has been helpful. See you on another day.